It is now time for Fersan in the Field, Real Issues, Real Solutions, brought to you by Newport-Fersan, Jamaica, the first on the land. And this morning we're taking a look at your soil, your profit, Fersan's soil management strategy. And this we're doing with Murphy Gooden, Agronomist. Good morning, Murphy. Welcome back to the show. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful out here. Good morning. And you all?
I am great. Good to have you back with us, and good to be taking a look at an issue that I know that you're all versed in there at Newport-Fersan, and that is the whole issue of soil management.
Yes.
Why is soil management an important topic when discussing productivity, Murphy?
Well, out here, one of the things that I would love for our listeners to appreciate before I even start is these 4 words. The soil is alive, right? Now, because the soil is alive, what it does, it directly controls how well plants are grown. So when the soil is healthy, what you'll find happening is that this will basically make the right conditions available for both strong yield and also that consistent yield that we need as farmers. Now, when you take a look at a healthy soil, a soil that is alive, you take into consideration the nutrient availability. A healthy soil has excellent nutrient availability. A healthy soil also has good water management as well. And finally, it also consists of excellent microbial activity. And I don't think really that nobody really understands sustainability like farmers, in that if we take care of the soil, it will take care of us, right? Farming is something that is long term. So year by year, we want to maintain that level of high yield and also that level of productivity. Now, if the soil is destroyed or if we're not taking care of the soil, what we'll observe taking place is that eventually, year after year, the yield will basically be dropping. And most farmers can basically agree with me on that. So soil management is basically tied in with the level of productivity that our farmers are getting.
And so there is a direct correlation between how it is that we take care of our soil or don't take care of our soil and the eventual produce that comes from the farm, and at the end of the day, our profit.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
All right, well, just walk us through then, Murphy, how it is that not paying enough attention to the properties of the soil can affect the farmer's overall yield.
All right, now, the fastest way out here for a farmer to lose yield is not to pay attention to what is actually consists of when you say the properties of the soil. So when you take a look at the physical aspect, the biological aspect, the nutrients that we're actually putting on, chemical aspect, these 3 play a crucial role when it comes on maintaining our soil. Now, a farmer who does not have the basic idea of what it is when you speak of nutrient management, that fertility aspect, or even soil pH, is already losing money because that farmer does not have an idea what it is that he's doing. Now, because of this, what you'll observe taking place is that the production cost will be very high, and the profit that is actually coming in is very low. So we don't want that. So a lot of times, too, out here, we'll observe that when a farmer is going through an issue with his soil, his first go-to is to increase the amount of fertilizer that he's putting on. And not in all cases that's going to help. And if that doesn't work, the next step that he'll do is to increase the amount of water that's going on onto the land. Now, either two are very expensive. So if that farmer does not have that basic idea, as is really for the principles involved, then that farmer will be losing a lot of money.
So the farmer then has to be very mindful of these issues. Speaking of farmers, let me introduce our first farmer in the conversation this morning. This is Sanjae Smith, and he is a pumpkin farmer. Sanjae, good morning and welcome back to Farm Talk. How are you, my brother?
I am good, and how are you?
I am great. Good to have you discussing with us the issues and challenges you face so that others can learn from those. How long have you been a farmer?
2017 has been a long time, hence that is 9 years.
Okay. And over these 9 years, what have you learned about farming?
Well, I have learned a lot, I've learned how to manage the soil health, take into consideration pH levels of the soil and how that impacts the soil, pH of water, etc. So in regards to like pH of the soil, you want to ensure that the soil is within a neutral. It's neutral, so you can get the best benefits out of the soil in regards to nutrient uptake when you're planting your crop. So when the pH is off, most time you will have problem in regards to nutrient uptake. So it's very important that the pH is at neutral level, so you can always get the best out of the crop. So that is one aspect that I have learned in regards to farming over the years. So
what I find very interesting is that even though Newport-Fersan is known as a fertilizer company, you didn't go there first. You went to the conditioning of the soil, and clearly that is very important. What products and services have you been using from Newport-Fersan to your advantage on your farm?
Well, I've used the sulfur and the calcifersan. As I said before, I have utilized the soil testing system that they have initiated, which is very important. So those are some of the stuff that I've used from them.
And what improvements have you observed?
Well, I've seen a lot of improvement in regards to using those stuff, because once you get the pH at the level that you want it, you see better results. So at the end of the day, well, I will always recommend a soil testing to ensure that you use a soil testing so that you can...
You know exactly what the soil needs, so you're not wasting your money.
Yes, exactly. You're not wasting your money.
Yes.
So because when you go precise, it's always better to go precise.
Right.
So hence once the soil test come and you just work off the program that they give you, you don't tend to use fertilizers that you don't want.
Right.
That is not recommended. So sometimes you don't even use the regular fertilizers. You use some special blend fertilizers.
Right. Made specifically for you, for the crops that you're growing and the soil type that you have. Sanjae, thank you very much, and I look forward to more conversation with you.
All right. Thank you very much for having me this morning.
All right. Take care. Murphy, let me bring you back in, because Sanjae has discussed quite a bit that we can wrap our minds around. He touches on soil pH, but I want to go to water holding capacity with you before we get to the soil pH. How important is that?
All right. Now, when we think of the water holding ability of the soil out here, what we're looking at is the ability, how well can the soil hold the water for the plants to actually use. Mm-hmm. So this is basically influenced by different aspects. So for example, when we take a look at the soil texture, the organic matter percentage or the content, and also the structure of the soil, these all influence the ability of the soil to hold water. So the texture of the soil type, right? So sandy soil tend to have a less or a lower water holding ability, whereas a soil that is high in clay will have a higher water holding ability. Now, loam soil, on the other hand, it tends to be on the balance, right? And I said earlier, the organic matter percentage play a key role, or the organic matter content. So what this does, it basically acts as a sponge to basically retain the water that's within the soil, so that the plants can utilize it when the plants are actually ready for it. Okay. Also, the structure of the soil is very, very important. So a lot of times we have farmers who don't pay attention to when it comes on to land prep, right? Now, what we observe happening is that if the soil is too hard, when it comes on to the infiltration of water and the storage of water, this is going to be a major problem, and as a result, you will find that this is going to affect the overall yield of the crop.
Boy, when I used to take a look at farming or think about farming. I didn't even realize, Murphy, that there is so much to consider. And we'll take a look at more of these kinds of issues when we come back from the news. We are breaking now. Paula Ann is standing by with the news and weather at 6 o'clock. When we come back, we continue First and in the Field, Real Issues, Real Solutions, focusing this morning on your soil, your profit.
Farmers, are diamondback moths, cabbage loopers, armyworms, budworms, cutworms, melonworms, aphids, leaf miners, whiteflies among those pests threatening to strike your crop? Well, wait no longer. Strike first with First Strike Insecticide from Newport-Fersan, Jamaica Limited, the first on the land.
We're jumping now to the final segment of our feature, First and in the Field, Real Issues, Real Solutions, Your Soil, Your Profit, as we discuss First and soil management strategy. Before I get back to Murphy Gooden, let me just acknowledge a few people that have sent messages in. Man from Plowden says, good morning. We have another message here that says, good morning. Princess Mackenzie, great show in the morning, very educational. Christopher checking in from Boca Raton in Florida. We have here, this is from Clarky Bless. He says that he can't afford to miss the program. Miss G says she is listening. And Miss G, I need for you to clarify a little bit of what you have said here in terms of the product. Can you just send me the name of that product? Just take a look at it to make sure it's the right one you're sending. That is Miss Ophelia, actually. And Miss Henrietta, good morning to you, as well as we say good morning to Laverne in Longville Park. All right, let's get back now to Murphy Gooden. And we've been taking a look this morning at the whole issue of soil management. That's why they have the topic here, your soil, your profit. You manage the soil, it increases your profit. Right, Murphy?
Exactly so, out there.
All right. And you have already spoken to us about water holding capacity and the importance of same, but I want to touch on some other things, including nutrient content and availability. I did hear the farmer earlier, Sanjae Smith, talking about the getting fertilizer that was specific for his needs. How important is that?
Well, it's basically what farming actually is out here. Now, it doesn't make sense a farmer is utilizing a product that has no benefit whatsoever to him or her. So when it comes down to the nutrient availability and content, it's quite important that a farmer do a soil test, basically, right? Now, what I've observed across Jamaica, based on my experience, is that a lot of soil either is on the alkaline side, which is having a high pH level, or on the acidic soil, meaning having a low pH level. Now, as Sanjae had mentioned earlier, he utilizes the soil ameliorants to help with this. He had also made mention of the ideal soil pH that you want your soil to always be at, right, which is roughly at about 5.5 to 6.5. Now, in the case where your area has a lot of limestone, that area will basically be known to have a high soil pH level. What it means is that nutrients such as your micro-elements, such as your zinc, your iron, those will be an issue when it comes on to absorption. On the flip side, soil that is very acidic, we take a look at our macronutrients. Those nutrients will have a significant issue being absorbed by the plant. And also, you'll find that in acidic soil out here, the aluminum tends to become toxic for the root areas. So if aluminum is toxic, that means that the root will be damaged. And if the root is damaged, then the plants won't be able to take up the needed food for them to do what they're supposed to do. All right? Another factor to also consider is the salinity level within the soil. Now, salinity basically speaks on how soluble, or rather, how much soluble salt is actually in the soil. So this is usually caused by over-fertilizing areas where there's not a lot of rainfall, and in some cases, farmers that utilize drip system, whenever they mix the fertilizer too concentrated, they tend to leave behind a lot of salt accumulation within the root areas. Now, when this is done, what you'll find happening is that even though you are applying your water, even though the plants are sitting there under water, they'll tend to wilt a lot. Now, they'll basically show the same symptoms as if they're going through drought. Even though the water is on the land, even though the soil is moist, and we call this physiological drought. All right? Now, also, because of the salinity level 2, what you find happening is that there'll be nutrient imbalance taking place within the soil. So potassium and calcium will be blocked from absorption by the plant. So it's important to consider this. And finally, we take a look at the microbial aspect as well. Now, microbes are important because they help to build the soil. They help to restore the organic matter content, and also they tend to unlock those tied up nutrients. So because these are so important, it's very, very important to observe that for farmers who love to burn the land in their land preps, this actually damages the microbes that are actually there within the land. And if these microbes are not present, you find that the soil will be very dry and very dusty, and therefore you're basically killing the soil when you do this.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much for that. And of course, a lot of the lessons that we learn, Murphy, those lessons come from our farmers. And so let us go to our second farmer for the morning. And always important to hear their stories. So let us say good morning to Nigel Panton, who is an onion farmer. Nigel, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Auntie. I'm doing well. You?
I'm great. Good to have you back with us. I know that when you come to us, you always have some good information to share. Just remind us how long you've been a farmer.
Just a little over 5 years.
And what has that journey been like for you, Nigel?
It's been a learning experience, the whole journey, because, as a farmer, there's a lot of variables that you can't really control. So it's always something new. And along the journey, it's been a learning experience in the short.
Okay, very good. What are some of the challenges that you have been facing? Murphy has gone through a number of issues this morning focused on nutrient content and availability, soil pH, salinity, microorganisms, issues with organic matter content. Which of these have you faced, and how did working with Fersan help you to deal with them?
All right, so I had an issue with nutrient availability, mainly from the aspect of pH. So the pH of my soil was a little bit high, so I had to use a phylomedaran incorporate that into my operation to make the plant nutrient more available to the plant. So ultimately, I can increase my yield. And also, I incorporated a new product that they introduced me to, which is it's consortia of bacteria that helps the plant utilize the nutrients that's in the soil. That product is the Bacto. So I did an experiment with it because it's fairly new. He introduced me to it probably about 2 or 3 weeks before I started planting the onion. And, as a farmer, you always want to try things before you fully subscribe. Mm-hmm. So I did my own little experiment and split the field into apply the product on one half and didn't apply the product on one half. And Alti, I can tell you the result I'm seeing so far is very encouraging.
One of the things that I love about farmers is that you recognize that you also have to be scientists out there in the field, running your own experiments, as you point out there, to see what kind of results you're getting. And clearly you're getting good results.
Definitely. And one of the aspects why we as farmers have to really adhere to the science, remember, it's an investment you're making.
That's right.
And in order to increase your ROI, your return on investment, you have to adhere to the science. And whatever product you can apply to increase your yield at the least possible cost, that's a product you'll want to invest in. And as I said, the signs that I'm seeing now, as it is now, I don't have the ultimate data, which is the yield, because the crop is still in the ground.
That's right.
But what I'm seeing so far, and just to put things in perspective, I've been planting onions for a little bit over 3 years, and what I saw on the block that I used the product on is phenological stages that the crop used to experience within 7-8 weeks. I'm seeing signs of that 5 weeks. So, to put it in simple terms, the crop is performing way ahead of its time compared to the norm of that variety of onion that I used to plant.
Well, it sounds as if you're going to have an excellent yield. So that sounds good. Thank you very much, Nigel. It's always a pleasure to speak with you.
Yes. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Take care. Or let me bring you back in, Murphy, because, of course, it's important for us to share good news all around. Clearly, despite the factors that you have discussed affecting our farmers, there is help out there, and that's where you come in. What are the technical products and services offered by Newport-Fersan to help solve a number of the issues that we have heard this morning?
Okay, so as highlighted by Sanjae earlier, we have Newport-Fersan, we have the soil ameliorants, which is the Calcifersan and the Sulfursan, which is important in adjusting a person's soil pH. Also, we have the soil Compaction Test, in that this is basically an instrument that is used to measure the compaction level of the soil, right? So before a farmer actually plants, you need to ensure that the compaction level is just right. You don't want the soil to be too loose, nor do you want it to be too hard. In addition, we also have, as Nigel has highlighted, the Bacto. So I don't know if you are realizing a trail here out here, in that not only are we paying attention to the chemistry of the soil, we are also looking at the physical aspect and also the biological aspect. So the Bacto, as I said earlier, it's actually a biofertilizer. What I mean is that you're introducing life to the soil to basically bring forth life. To simply put, right? So these are just a few of the products that we have available, and of course we do have our soil testing available for persons who are interested, right? So the soil testing is basically done island-wide. So if you're interested, feel free to reach out.
Just reach out to Newport-Fersan.
Exactly. So
right.
So they can,
All right. Murphy, thank you, my brother. This is excellent information you've provided. We've gotten a number of messages. In fact, somebody asking about podcasting here, that this information is very good information. Just want to let you know that we have been told that there is that coming, so you can pick up the information and go back, revisit the information. Thank you, Murphy. Looking forward to our next conversation.
Thank you, out here.
Take care. Murphy Gooden there, agronomist, and this has been another in the series, Fersan in the Field, Real Issues, Real Solutions, talking this morning about Fersan soil management strategy.